everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own arid bioactive substrate for leopard geckos, bearded dragons, basically any reptile species that lives in more arid regions. So yeah, right here I have all my supplies that I'm going to be using for this. So this looks like a lot, and you probably don't need to use all of these, but I'm just trying to make the substrate the best I can to work with my setup. So first I'm going to be showing you all the ingredients that I'm using for this and what their use is. Okay, so first what you'll need is the base of my substrate, just an organic natural soil mix. So I'm using just a regular soil mix, not a cactus and succulent soil mix, even though it's like an arid setup, because most cactus and succulent mixes have a lot of perlite in them, and some perlite is okay, but a lot of it can pose as a risk of impaction for leopard geckos and other reptiles. So yeah, I'm just using regular soil, and I'm going to be adding some other things to it. So this is just my base. So you can just use any organic soil mix for your substrate. So next what I'm using is this just natural plain clay sand. So usually I would say don't use sand for substrate for leopard geckos. And that is true because if you use it as if you use it only as a just sand as a substrate for your leopard geckos, it can be a risk of impaction. But if you mix only a small amount into the substrate like I am, then the impaction risk is very low. So make sure it's just plain clay sand and doesn't have any additives like calcium or anything anything that could be toxic to your reptile in it. Make sure it's just plain natural clay sand. So I'm only going to be adding a little bit to my substrate. I am kind of very cautious with sand for leopard geckos because I know with just it as a plain substrate for leopard geckos, it can cause impaction, so I'm being careful for how much I use it. And I wouldn't recommend you use over 1/4 to 1/3 clay sand to soil. So next I have orchid bark. So this is an actual bark from orchids. This is just bark that's meant to grow orchids, but you can use it in your reptile substrates. So yeah, this is just plain orchid bark, organic, and yeah, it's the medium size. I don't want it to be too big or too small. Just about this size, as you can see. But this is to help the plants grow better. For desert plants that I'm using, it's good to have something like this to soak up any humidity in the substrate and provide better drainage. So yeah, I'm going to be using this, but I'm not going to be using very much of this, only a little bit. So this is just plain eco earth that I had lying around. You don't necessarily need to use this in your substrate, but I just thought I'd use it because I don't really have another use for it. So yeah, I'm just going to put some of this into my substrate. Okay, so next what I have is just this lava rock. So I'm only going to be using the smaller pieces in here. This is for better soil aeration for cactuses and succulents. I have some bigger pieces in here, but I'm not going to be using them in the substrate. I'm only going to be using the smaller pieces. So this is just plain lava rock that I'm going to be using. To help the plants, it's provides aeration in the substrate and better drainage. So this is Volcanic Ash. I'm only going to be putting a little bit of this in the substrate, not very much. This is just, it's basically a natural fertilizer for the soil and the plants, and it really helps plants grow better. So don't put very much of this in there because you don't want your soil to be too dusty, and you just don't want very much of this in there. So yeah, this is azomite, Volcanic Ash. So this is just plain hardwood activated charcoal powder. So the reason I'm using this is for to like prevent mold in the substrate and like buildup of bacteria that I don't want there. So I am also not going to be adding very much of this. Yeah, don't use very much of this in your substrate either because it's kind of dusty. I'm only going to be using a little bit of this. So lastly, what I have is these 2 packets of leaf litter. So as you can see, they're pretty small. There's not very much in here. And so you might be thinking like this isn't really enough for the soil for my tank, but I also have some other leaf litter that I'm going to be adding on top of the soil. So this is just to go into the substrate mix. So yeah, these are just catappa leaves, and they're really tiny, but I didn't want really big leaves to go into the substrate. And yeah, so I kind of paid a lot of money for these because I couldn't really find very much for like inexpensive leaf litter. So you probably could find a better deal out there, and just don't make the same mistake as I did, and find a better deal on leaf litter, because I bought each of these packets for like $14, and that's a lot for just plain leaf litter. So now that we have our ingredients, let's just go outside and mix this all together. So I have everything together. I'm just going to be mixing this all together. Hey there. Oopsie. Okay, so just gonna be making sure the orchid bark gets into all of the substrate, even the bottom. And a little bit more. Not all as big. Okay. Spraying it to make sure it doesn't get too dry. Yeah. I don't know if this can work. It's been a little moist. But it's going to be adding not a whole lot of it into here. Yeah. Like adding a little bit more. Should be enough. Okay. I'm gonna mix this around. So okay. Okay guys, so yeah, next I'm going to be adding my eco earth, but look at these hands. They're filthy. But I'm going to be adding yeah, but it's kind of a messy business, but that's what you have to do. You have lizards. Not gonna adding a whole lot of this, just enough that it contributes somewhat to the mixture. is looking good so far. It's actually really pretty. Most people don't think of soil as pretty, but I do. Look at that. Smells good too. Okay. And a little bit more of this. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So now for my volcanic ash. Let's see, I'm just gonna use the scissors for everything because sometimes you just rip it, it doesn't always work that well. So this, I'm only gonna be adding a little bit of this. Try to get to the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so for any of you who are new to my channel or just haven't watched all my videos, the reason I'm making this is for my 4-year-old leopard gecko Mocha, and I've been wanting to do a bioactive setup for her for a while, but I just haven't really gotten to it. But I'm finally starting to get like the stuff done, and yeah, I'm making my own bioactive substrate. There probably are some good bioactive substrates out there, but I'm just making my own because I can put what I want in there, and there's not that many good bioactive substrates like in the USA. Like I know there's some good ones that you can find like in other places, but like you can't find them very much like actually in the USA. So I'm just making my own because it's just the better and less risky option. So yeah. Next, I'm going to be adding my charcoal. So this stuff is really black. And see that? It's like completely black. No, I'm not going to be adding very much of this. So I added the rest of my charcoal. I didn't have it on video, but yeah, let's see. So I'm going to be adding some of my lava rock. I'm going to be adding very much of it. leaf litter. I think I'm cutting it the wrong way. Sunday. Okay. Just mix this all into the soil. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think that's just about it. And like I said before, you don't have to do it exactly like I'm doing it. You can always do it your own way, just mix it up, do what you want with it, but make sure you're making it to fit your needs, like how arid your setup needs to be, and like what plants you want to grow in it. But yeah, so I'm going to use this for my arid bioactive cage, and I hope this helped you guys. And so this can't just be alone bioactive, like this is for isopods and springtails to grow in, and the isopods and springtails are what make it bioactive. You can also put some other insects in there, other cleanup crew, to make it bioactive, but you'll have to have a cleanup crew to actually make your setup bioactive. This is just the substrate, so your cleanup crew can survive. And they eat this leaf litter, so that's why you'll definitely want to have leaf litter in here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helped you. Any questions you have, feel free to ask. I can answer them. And also, if you've made it to the end of this video, I am still open for suggestions to like what videos I should make. So if you have something you'd like to see next, make sure you don't forget to leave that in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe and push that bell to get notified when I post a new video. And yeah, bye guys.